I don't want to report. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, your Wi-Fi is faster. It sounds like it's green. But yeah. Good enough, everybody. So, just want to go ahead and get back into cybersecurity training. You know, we do this 2 times a year, so a lot of this is going to be review. It's mostly review, really, but there is a reason that we do it 2 times a year. It's obviously very important and a big part of how we keep UTB safe, keep our jobs safe, and continue to continue to serve our customers and each other the right way, and actually being able to be here to do that. So, just want to go ahead and get into a few things that we're going to cover today. Um, want to talk about why it's important, what you need to look out for, and how you need to respond when it comes to cybersecurity threats and the things that we're going to discuss today. So, to get into why this is important, cybercrime is growing. It's continuing to grow. It has grown for years and years and years. It's something that hasn't slowed down. And while cybersecurity tools and cybersecurity technology has gotten quite a bit better, so have a lot of the cyber criminals. They've gotten a lot better at what they do, and it's something that we can't rely on just technology or on our tools that we have here, like Barracuda or ThreatDown or anything like that, to keep us safe. We have to make sure that we're all educated and continuing to be vigilant about this kind of thing. So around 4,000 successful cyber attacks occur every day. So it's not like this is something that we see infrequently or anything like that. And as you can see, the 3.4 billion estimated phishing emails being sent daily. It's something that obviously we don't see all of those get delivered, but there's an attempt at the very least, because we have things like Barracuda that keep those things from coming in, and Microsoft Exchange. They are some security tools that keep those things from getting to us, some of those dangerous things. And of course, it's not going to catch everything, and that's why we have the reporting in place that we do. And for those for those phishing emails, especially, I think we look to human error being the big cause of those breaches that we see from phishing emails anyway. Nearly 80% of 80% of breaches are caused by human error just from phishing scams every year. And then on top of that, human error is the cause of 95% of cyber attacks that we see year by year. And you may be wondering why small businesses, why we're the target, and it's just because we are more vulnerable than larger targets, larger businesses. They do have better defense resources. They have access to larger larger amounts of money, and of course larger groups of IT professionals that they can rely on. Of course, we have AIT that we work with when it comes to our security services. So of course there are 2 layers there that we can work with, but that net's only so big for us compared to a large corporation. And 20% of small businesses now actually have no cybersecurity measures in place whatsoever currently. And that doesn't mean just us, obviously. We do have things that I've just discussed, and we're also doing this training now. But that does mean our customers, that means our competitors, that means local businesses as well. So it's not something that doesn't affect us. The fact that the training's not being taken place, like you can see there, 45% of small business employees don't actually receive any training whatsoever, on top of the 20% that have no measures in place at all. This is something that we do see around us, and we do see in our competitors as well as our customers. It's something that it's something that we have to keep a focus on, just in order to keep ourselves safe, and of course to make sure that we're staying safe when it comes to other companies that may not have the same measures in place. And most most small businesses that fall victim to successful cyber attacks are actually out of business within 6 months or less. And that's a large part of that is because of the average cost of a data breach in our industry, particularly. It's at nearly $6 million for that. And of course, that's not an amount that anybody would stop at, not a large corporation or a small one. And even if we weren't, if UT, of course, this is why we're doing this, so this doesn't happen. But even if we were to survive something on a great scale like that, 43% of small businesses that do fall victim to cyber attacks and cyber breaches lose customers. They lose return customers. They lose their loyal customers. It's something you can't really avoid, and it's something that's very serious and something we need to make sure that we are staying on top of because of that. So some attacks that we've seen this year that have happened kind of close to us or to companies that are in ways related to us, like Bailey here. Bailey Lumber is a lumber company based in New York, and they had an attack earlier this year in February that wasn't discovered for another 5 months. And in that time, an undisclosed number of customer data and employees' data was actually lost there. And of course, that's the kind of thing that we're trying to avoid. On top of Nucor here, Nucor just this year had a large cybersecurity breach, and because of that, many of their plants around the U.S. ended up going down for several days. I believe, yeah, it was just about a month until they could restore business operations in some places, and that also included the plant in Tuscaloosa. Something like that is nothing to scoff at, and it's something that's very serious. It's a very real threat when it comes to cybersecurity and seeing data breaches like that. So I've got a quick video here. Just go ahead and watch that before we get into some more info. One second. So just a, no, that's just a silly little video, but it is something that we do really need to make sure that we're staying on top of things like phishing attacks, like especially now because in our last round of fish testing, all of our numbers actually dropped, and that was something that we weren't really expecting. They ended up dropping to a passing rate of 90% this time, as well as a percent of those emails that we actually received. Only 35% of them were reported to us, and because of that, you know, seeing those numbers drop, seeing that kind of thing happen with 63% of those emails being opened, we would hope to see the same 63% on our reported emails there. Um, with that not being the case, of course, this is a controlled test and it's something that, it's not going to end up jeopardizing anything. When we aren't getting these emails reported to us and we're not able to report them to AIT or to have those email addresses blocked or do anything to, mitigate that damage, we are, leaving ourselves vulnerable. And it's something that we need to try to stay on top of and stay more vigilant about this year. So go ahead and get into some stuff that you need to look out for, like on those phishing tests, especially, and on actual phishing emails, like scam emails that we need to make sure that we're staying on top of more this year. If anything does look out of the ordinary on an email, we want to make sure that we're treating that as spam, and you can report that to us at itsupport@utddelivers.com. Just any of these red flags, like something that, an address, like a from address that you may not recognize. While this isn't a perfect example because, it's Microsoft, we do see strange things like this info at shop clues and these .edu, .p like domains that you'll see, um, or sorry, those domain addresses anyway. Just any red flags you'd see there, like a generic greeting or a greeting that's asking you to urgently do something the same way that it would in like a subject line, um, demanding that you pay something now, or saying that your account's going to be shut down, things like that. Some poor grammar, things being misspelled, the body not being related to the rest of the email, things like that. Just a few little things you can look out for, as well as links, which we'll get a little bit more into here soon. So that to address, you could also see on there that you could be included on an email with several people that you have no clue who they are. This is usually a dead ringer for me that, hey, this is a problem. Like, I need to go ahead and report this. It's not something that I'm supposed to be receiving, or it's something that was sent by mistake. Either way, we would like to get a look at that, and it's something we need to make sure we're paying attention to, that to line. And sometimes you'll see an empty to line because someone will send an email with blind carbon copies on it, which is hard to explain, but it's also that from address that we were talking about earlier. Someone claiming to be Rob, spoofing his name or his address, something like that would be another big thing. I know we see a lot of that with emails claiming to be from Chad, or claiming to be from Rob, claiming to be from Barry, claiming to be from former employees. Like, we need to make sure when we're getting those that, hey, we're verifying that this is, it's not legitimate, and we're getting it reported. Uh, Subject line as well, like we were talking about with that promotion of urgency, things like that. Big thing that we need to look for. Let's see. And then that content, like I was talking about, no, this isn't a misspelling, but says that there's a voice message on a PDF, where you're not going to see a voice message on a, just a PDF file unless they have a QR code on there, which is part of the scam thing there. uh, Either way, not related at all to the not related at all to that subject line there, with that saying it's a complete e-file being received, things like that, and the time as well. I know I've seen things come in at midnight, come in at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or 2 on a Saturday. I don't think Rob's going to be sending you an email at 2 on a Saturday from an account that's not, his at utddelivers.com email address. So big thing there as well. Attachments, like we were talking about with that PDF, if you weren't expecting an attachment, or you're not aware of the file extension, not sure what it might be, please make sure to report those to us before you actually open those. And things like zip files, we had one earlier this week. There are some things that we can't check ourselves, so we have to run to AIT, ask them, hey, can you take a look at this before we actually open them? We have to make sure that we're not opening anything that could be possibly dangerous anyway. And links as well. We do have a rollover test that we like to do. That it's the best way to make sure that a link is safe before you actually open it. And you can also do this kind of thing on your phone, but we do suggest that you do the rollover test on your computer, where you just hover over a link and it will tell you where the actual address is. Can use this as an example, actually. Like here, you can see that I've got a network location for this. But in another example, you might see something that's saying it's from Amazon, and it's actually, you know, going to an IP address like this, or it's going to another address that you're not actually expecting anyway. You can do the same thing on your phone by just tapping on a link, holding on it, and when you do that hold, it'll show you a preview of the link on an Android device. But by default, on an iPhone, it's actually going to show you a preview of the web page, so it will load that. If you do use a company email on your phone, I would suggest that you do a tap and hold test on a trusted link. And then you can just click to hide preview on that, and it will just show you the same Android example there, where it shows you the full address that you're actually visiting instead of, you know,
Loading the actual site.
yeah, loading the site, which of course is dangerous. So now we just want to get into what we need to do when it comes to these cyber threats. This is more something that's going to be out of your hands, and it's going to be something that will keep us safe. It's a lot more of a safety net. ThreatDown and ThreatLocker are a couple of security tools that we have installed on everybody's computers. They prevent unknown, untrusted apps, websites, things like that that we're not sure would be safe. They're not sure would be safe. They make sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen. It's good last line of defense, but it also does sometimes falsely report things, and it will tell you that that you can't. You need to request access for an app, or that website was blocked due to riskware, when you actually do need to access it. So, in the case that that happens, you can just report that to us. Give us a call at 222, or send us an email at itsupport@utddelivers.com. Either way, we will get with you as soon as we can. And if it is something that's urgent, I do just, anything that is urgent, I do urge you to just call 222. That's going to be the fastest way for us to get back to you. And it's going to be the easiest thing for you to get things done as soon as you need to use them.
I said this in the last one I was going to say here. Hopefully you're noticing a pattern of how many times we say the word report,
Yeah.
because that is the most important thing. So if you want to count how many times he says report, that I don't know if you could count.
It's got to be upwards of 100, I'm sure. It's got to be 3 digits.
What was the test email that you sent?
Periodically we do phish testing, which is just us doing a controlled test where we kind of see, okay, here's a spam,
right,
and see how everybody reacts to it.
Yeah,
right.
In a safe way that if people do click on it, then nothing bad happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So we do that periodically, and then we see how many people report. So and we see how many people open it, how many people click on it, how many people enter information that login information to it. So and if we see any of that happening, that's not good, because that means if it's happening in our controlled test, it could be happening on real, actual dangerous emails. So that's why we want to see the number of people that open it. We want the reported to actually match that. That means that if somebody opened it, they just deleted it and didn't let us know. And if it was something bad, they're like, oh, well, somebody else is going to report this, assuming that we'll get into that. But yeah, that's what that is.
No, I meant the actual email. You're gonna show us the one that we missed?
No, we've that's the thing.
If you are one of the people that has a failure, we will be getting directly to say, here's where you messed up. Here, let's do better. Kind of thing.
In the case that somebody is in that 10%, we do have like remedial training that we'll do. If you're wanting to see like the tests that they actually send us, like they are tests that they tend to cycle through, and they are coming from AIT. So it is something that you'll receive periodically, but I don't know that that we should really reveal that kind of thing.
Well, they change every time. So
right,
but we can show you, here's the one that you messed up on.
You're right.
If you mess up, so you'll know if we. And I mean, the only thing we're doing is trying to minimize this as much as possible. So if you mess up, yeah, it's not the greatest thing, but we want everybody to learn to get, what to identify to get better at this. So does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, I guess it was like, do I need to, if it looks foreign, I'll just delete it, but it sounds like we need to go deeper into it to prevent it from to keep coming, or
yeah, like if you get a spam, you need to forward it to us.
Right.
Anybody, if it's on your company email, please do, because then that allows us to report it to AIT to make our tools better to block, so you don't even get them at all.
Okay.
And if you're the first person that gets it, then you could help prevent somebody else from even having to see that email, because like you were saying with our exchange, if we have the way to say, okay, this was a malicious email, we block it, it'll actually take it out of everybody else's email account.
Okay.
So say you get one at 2 a.m. or something, the other people won't even see it because it'll automatically go away once it's been marked as spam. So it helps us train our tools to be better, you know.
Right.
So that's why the reporting is the critical part is we need to let us know, you know, just forward it to the IT support and then we'll check it out for you. Even if you have any question about an email, please do.
Even if you're not confident about it being spam, or if you're just not sure, like there's no harm in that at all, because we're going to check it. If we're going to receive an email on that IT support, at that IT support email, we're going to look into it. We're going to check into it as soon as we possibly can, and get back to you with any info that we can.
That's a good question. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. But we also do we do see some elevate spam calls and texts, things like that. And if you do receive like spam calls on Elevate, it's not something that happens often. You can go to your call history and then just scroll over to the number that may have called you that you're thinking, oh, this might be spam, might be a problem. You can just click here to report it as spam, and then here to block it. You can also hide and mute spam text messages you might receive there. So in Elevate, you can right click on there and just click to hide, but you can also go to their profile on the right side after you go to their messages and mute those. And if you'll let us know about those numbers as well, we can also see if they're trying to contact anybody else or if there's anything that we can do to make sure that those numbers or those messages don't come through again. We also have Barracuda email alerts. So while these are important, you can definitely ignore some of them anyway.
Or at least look through it.
Right. Like not to say, hey, I saw this come in, gonna delete it. Definitely look into those to make sure that you don't need anything from them. Like we've got 3 here that you can see. A potentially harmful email being in your mailbox. You may have received a targeted phishing attack or quarantine notification there. So in each of these emails, it'll actually tell you where the mail is coming from. And in the event that you don't need the mail from this address and you don't think that anyone else will, you can go ahead and delete that. No issues at all. However, if you do see something like in a quarantine that says that, you know, you've got an email from LMC or an email from even something like Zillow, or like we've got Merchant Magazine here, which we're signed up for newsletter emails from them. If that's something you don't normally receive, but you think that somebody else may need to, if you'll let us know, we can go ahead and make sure that those emails are getting delivered to them as well. Again, if it's not pertinent, if you don't think anyone else will need it, you can delete and disregard that, not anything to worry about. In the case that somebody may, just report it to us at utddelivers.com, IT support at utddelivers.com, sorry, and we can get that unblocked, get that through.
And on that quarantine list, that's just the list of emails that it blocked for you.
Right.
If you just scan through it and like, oh yeah, all those are spam, then you can just delete it. But if you see something in there, oh, I need to get that, then let us know.
Right.
So, like you say.
Yeah, and it's the same for that targeted phishing attack. I know that
Yeah.
like something like something like that reply to there, it may not look right, but you also can see that the Merchant Magazine's there. If something sets off an alarm for you, just send it to us, because I know that some of these things are also questionable where it's like, I don't think we need that, but this is a somewhat familiar address to us. Just go ahead and send it our way and we'll be happy to look into it. So on to more reporting. Please report any suspicious emails, any emails that need to be released, any errors, anything like that you can to us. For the emails that need to be released and suspicious emails particularly, please send those to itsupport at utddelivers.com. And as soon as we can get into those, look into those, we will have some news for you. And please, if you can, forward those as attachments. So you'll just need to get to the email, open the email, and what is it? If you open it as a pop-out, it's much easier to forward as an attachment. If anybody needs any instruction on that, I can show you how to do that as well. But that helps us just see a little bit more on the emails themselves and gives us a little bit more information to work with. So errors as well. Any errors that you might see in the sales order database, work order database, on your apps on your phones, any issues that you might have be having with your computers or your desk phone, anything like that, please report that to us. Give us a call, send us an email. If it's something urgent, again, please give us a call at 222. Doing that and making sure that we're aware of those issues is the only way that we can actually, fix the issues that you're having, fix the errors that you're seeing in the sales order database or the work order database. I know that, today and yesterday especially, we've been seeing a lot of errors. We've been having some issues on the server, we thought, and definitely gotten a lot of that cleared up. And if we weren't to know, hey, I'm having this issue, I'm also having this issue, I'm also having this issue, it doesn't help us, without all of these reports that we're getting, we can't establish a real pattern and, have a real reason and a real direction, like for us to go in to actually mitigate these issues. And we had talked about earlier, somebody being like, oh, somebody else reported, that kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about with the bystander effect or the diffusion of responsibility there. So even though, yes, somebody will probably report this, doesn't mean that you shouldn't do. It's something, if it's something that everybody's seeing, or, it's something that you're thinking, well, he'll be in 2 hours, he'll see it, he'll send it in, it's fine, like I can get through this for right now. Making sure that we're actually, reporting these on time and reporting them when they happen is a big key to us actually, making changes and fixing things that need to be fixed. So just a quick recap of what we covered today. Just talked about why cybersecurity training is important, what we need to look out for this year, and what we need to do due to cybersecurity threats and any other issues that you may face with your computers or with apps related to UTD, things that you're doing here for work. So do you have any questions? Sorry, I know that that's a lot to go through, and I've been talking like, 25 minutes straight, but it is something that we talk 25 minutes straight for every 6 months, because it is very important and it's something we need to stay on top of, and it's something that we need to, keep hammering that home that we do need to report. We need to make sure that we're keeping this company safe so that we can keep our jobs safe and we can keep this company running. And yeah, it's a lot. I totally understand. But if you do have any questions or need any information, confused about anything, just let us know.
Everybody good?
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you all.